Hello, Jess. This will be some video feedback for week 3, and I'll begin with the discussion on copyright and ethics, but I'll also include 2.1 and 2.3. With regard to the Jeff Koons, Frank Davidovich ad controversy, at first I agreed with you. I didn't see how Koons had exaggerated it in a comedic way. But, it is in some ways a very nuanced, rich piece, Koons' work, and he is parodying, really, I think, postmodernism. And the ad is a classic example of that. It's in line with the advertising of other fashion houses of the time, like Fiorucci, or I'm thinking even Benetton, maybe a few years later. So, there are some hallmarks of postmodern ism, I guess, and they show up in advertising, of course. So, I think you could say that it was a critique of postmodernism or lampooning or parody, but there are 4 other lawsuits against Koons, or there were, for similar reasons, and they all come from a series he produced called Banality, I think, or Banalities. And the Frank Davidovich ad is only one of 4 photographs or other images that Koons used. Okay, so anyway, it's a complex issue, but I think Koons made a calculated risk to get a lot of publicity too, and the settlement is far less than the cost of a single piece by Koons. Just here is your 2.1 submission. It's the the silhouette, and it looks good. The preview that's built by that's Ashley's, by the way. That's built by Photoshop. Okay, I see you've got quite a bit on in the file. You've got the original, and you've got, I'm presuming that is the mask. Is the mask outlined? Just curious. But it looks good. And then you've got some, wow, pretty sophisticated channel mixer. You've made layer adjustments for curves, hue, saturation. I understand that one. This is exemplary. Now, the other thing I want to take a look at, let me get it all in the frame here, is the resolution, and just to make sure that it is the right size. Now, I realize that you probably just use this portion of it as a detail. Be careful about truncating limbs. If this bled off the page, it might seem okay, but would rather see her hand there. But nonetheless, let's see, image size, and yes, 8 by 10 at 300, so that's good. It's a little fuzzy, you can't merely just add pixels and expect for it to be crisp and detailed. There is software, however, that will actually add or interpolate some resolution. It's based on using fractals, and so take a look at genuine fractals. It might have become something else where you can actually gain back some resolution. Okay, so this looks good to me. I think you've met all the requirements of the rubric. Jess, here is your Illustrator file, and it looks pretty good at first glance. I see that you've got a layer for everything. You've got the silhouetted photograph from 2.1 there. You have the logo. Logo looks a little bit compressed laterally. Not sure, maybe you got squashed. By that I mean, if you're not careful with how you size the logo, you can squash it. Of course, that's extreme, but I think, since I'm so familiar with this logo, it's, it's been a couple of years that we've been using the style guide. I think it's more like that, okay? But anyway, just check it out to make sure that it's not condensed laterally. And I see that you've got a background layer, which is this interesting green. I like that green. I would be hard-pressed to name it. But it could work with the amethyst-based style guide. I talked a little bit about not truncating, the limbs of a figure. So if you do use this, I don't know if that looks awkward to you or not, but that seems to be a little bit better placement given your image. And make sure that you bleed at least 1/8 of an inch off the edge. Print ads, magazines, they're trimmed, and so if you don't bleed, then you might wind up with more than you bargained for being cropped off. Okay, so this looks good. I talked a little bit about the resolution. That it's I wouldn't make it any larger. Probably even look better if it were smaller. And again, don't try not to distort it. See, it crispens up when it gets reduced. That's just a small suggestion. You've got all the requisite layers. Good job. I look forward to seeing how you refine your ads.